Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast with Amy. I am Amy from Wise Monkey Quilting in Denison, Iowa. And this morning we're going to do something that's quick and easy and practical. We're going to make a pocket bag. This is so much fun, and the reason I'm doing it is because when I go to the grocery store, I don't like getting those plastic bags. Whether you're conscious of the environment or just you accumulate those plastic bags and you're not supposed to put them in your garbage so they go to the landfill. So you end up with all these bags I forget to take to recycling. So I have bags in the back of my car, but when I'm in the grocery store, I forgot them in my car. So this is a bag you can put in your purse, and then it's there. You don't have to worry about it. It can be washed and dried and folded back up and ready whenever you are.
I'm just going to catch a few people here.
Good
morning, Carla, Maggie, Ilma, Emily, Barb, Carol. She says, good morning, sunshine. Oh, we don't have that here. So, Janice and Jerry, hi. Marianne, good morning.
Maybe she's saying I am sunshine.
Okay, all right. You do have some gold lettering on your shirt there.
A little sparkly this morning.
Karen and Cindy K. Hi, Adeline. Good morning.
Hi, Addie.
Susan, Sharon, Bernie, along with Becky, Steve. Greetings and salutations to one and all.
You told him to change
he had to change up. Sharon, Jane, Victor, Martha, Karen. People are buying already. Hi, Linda, Jane down in Mississippi, Melanie, Maggie says that we have to pay for bags here if we don't bring our own. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Mary.
I think that's going to be happening more and more.
Maggie is right next door. Or not Maggie, Mary is right next door. She's going to give me a hard time for that, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Because she likes to do that. She picks on me.
Well, I think you kind of do it back.
Well, I'm not sure of that, but hi, Colleen. Let's see, Kathy. Carol says Amy is always sunny. Okay. And Cindy K says great bag for Aldi's. Caca.
Caca. Yes.
Jan, Donna, Carol, no sound. I can't type into restart or check it on your side. Maybe somebody else will help Carol out with that, because I'm assuming everybody else is hearing us this morning. Hi, Linda. Addie, do you have school today? I'm guessing probably. Maybe not. It's early, I know, but I'm glad that you're watching. So, Julie, good morning. Kathy,
you can watch whenever you want, Addie.
Exactly.
And you can come here and Grandma will teach you how to sew.
Jane says you have to pay for bags in Colorado.
Okay.
Victor says been like that for decades to pay for the bags. Hi, Deanna. Down in Omaha area and other places got a little more rain that they could use. I had some flooding last night. Cindy, Cheryl, Catherine's checking in along with April. So
all right. Well, This is what we're making this morning, and here's the deal. If you purchase, so one bag takes 3/4 of a yard of fabric. But I thought, I'm going to show you something different this morning. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to make the pocket in a coordinating color? So here's what we're doing. In here, you get 2 coordinating fabrics. You can make 2 bags, and then one bag will have, like this one, the butterfly as a pocket, and then the butterfly bag will have the gray as a pocket. So you get coordinating bags. You make 2. When you buy the fabric bundle, you get my pattern. If you buy anything this morning, you will get the pattern to make the bag. So here's how the bag works. We're gonna go through step by step on how to make it, and then it just folds into this pocket. So you can then unfold it, turn it right out from this pocket, and you have a nice bag to take into the store with you. And then when you're home and you're done with it, you can fold it back up and put it back in your pocket and stick it back in your purse. So we have some different colors of bags. I wanted to keep kind of dark because we don't want dirt to show up, because these are gonna, go in the trunk of our car or go in the back seat and in there and around. So I've got some choices for you this morning. This one is gray. So you get 3/4 of a yard of the gray swirl like what I used, and 3/4 of a yard of this really pretty yellow with the butterflies. So you can make 2 bags. So this one is sold, and it's $24.99, including the pattern. $24.99, sold 100 gray. Then we have gold, and this is the color I'm making this morning. So a really pretty gold and a dark blue. So you would make 2 bags, and then they would be opposite pockets. So this is sold 100 gold. Then this is a browns, so kind of a deep brown, and then this one is kind of a marble looking brown, which would make great shopping bags. So sold 100 brown. This one is kind of a olive green with a really pretty kind of a country blue to it. So you have 2 bags opposite. This is sold 100 green. And then I've got another brown, but check this one out. So this one is like striped. So blues, browns, you'd be able to use this as one, and then make 2 bags with opposite pockets. And the last one I'm saying red. You get a green, and then this is sort of a country deep red with some matching green on it. So you could do a green and a red, and then opposite pockets. So sold 100 red.
And yes, the gray is already on wait list. It may be the thing today again. We will see how things go. We may be adding a few more later on this morning on Facebook. We will see how sales go here. So far things look well. So, but if you don't see something you like, or maybe you want more choices, check back a little bit later this morning and we might have some more available for you.
Then we've never brought this before. It is a 7-inch circle, and I'm going to show you how this works really well making the curves on the bag this morning. So we do have a 7-inch circle template, $9.99. And it is sold 101 that we're going to be using this morning.
And we will personalize those for you.
It will have your name unless you state otherwise on your order.
And it'll be the name that is on your account, the first name on your account. So if you want something else on there, please put it on there. Otherwise, it's going to be that name. If you don't want one, please let us know that also.
I'm going to be using a 6 by 12-inch ruler. We have brought these on before, so you may have it. Again, personalized with your name. This is a great size that we're going to be using this morning, and I will show you that. So $15.99 for the 6 by 12 personalized ruler with your name on it. Sold 102. And then, because I am going to be pressing some little seams, and sometimes using steam, you don't want to get too close to that with your fingers. So we have the package of the silicone position and press tools, which are a great finger saver when you're working with steam and you're trying to get those close seams done. So we have this, they're $10.99 from Gypsy Quilter, sold 103.
And I will let everybody know on that 6x12 ruler, if you want it left-handed, please put that in your comments also, and we can do that for you.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get started, and I will show you how quick and easy it is to make these bags. And I just love the idea that you can fold them up, stick them in your purse, and you always know, because if you are like me, I get into the store and then I realize my bags are out in the car. So this is a great way to keep them close and to have them with you all the time. Now on my pattern, which will come with any of the fabric bundles, it's going to give you specifications as to what size to cut and all of that. So the first thing you're going to do is take your fabric, and like I said, you're going to be making 2 bags. One from one color and the pocket from the other, and then the other one the opposite. So you're going to cut 2 pieces of fabric, the same size. This is going to be the color of your bag. And we're going to fold it long ways. So here's my longer length, and we're going to fold that in half.
Kathy's wondering what's the size of the bag.
The size of the bag is probably about 24 by 19.
Okay.
18, 19.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I folded it in half, right sides together.
The pattern you would get free with any purchase of either if you purchase the fabric bundle, the 7-inch circle, the 6.5 by 12 ruler, or the position and press silicone pressing tools today.
If you do an order today, you're going to get the pattern.
Yes. So,
and well, $5.
Any of the items we have on here.
Yes, any of the items we have on here. I have to be specific.
Yes.
And it is $5 flat rate shipping unless you buy $25 or more, and then your shipping is free today.
Mm-hmm. And you can just hold up that bag. That way they can see that it's a nice size.
It is a nice size bag. The sides are, I don't know if you call that gusseted, but you can put a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, it's a big bag.
If you fill that up with things, it's going to be heavy enough.
Yes, it will. That's why we're doing 2 bags as one. Okay, are we ready?
I am.
All right, so I have taken my piece of fabric, folded it in half, right sides together. This is the raw edge side, and this is the fold side. So on the fold side, and I tell you dimensions in the pattern, we're going to first cut for this part of our bag. So I am going to measure in and measure up. I have my pattern right here, so I make sure I know what my measurements are. So I am just on my folded side of my fabric measuring, and I am going to take my friction pen, and if you need a friction pen, you can find that in our comment sold store, and I am going to mark. Now before I take my ruler away, I'm going to make a couple more marks. So I am going to come up, and I have this in the pattern. So I just measured the same on both sides, and it will tell you of a measurement. Okay, so now I drew my square and I drew my 2 little marks. I'm going to take my 7-inch circle, and I'm going to lay it on there so I am touching both of those marks that I just made. And then I'm going to go around the curve of my circle and connect those marks. So now instead of a rectangle, I have a curved line. Now before I cut that out, I'm going to come over here to my other side. So this is where my raw edges are. And I'm going to bring my ruler down again. And I am going to do another measurement. And hold on. Okay. See, I'm trying to make sure I'm right. There we go. So I am just going to draw a line, but before I lift up my ruler, I am then going to make a couple more marks. Move my ruler, take my 7-inch circle, and do the same thing. I'm putting my circle so it meets both of those marks. And then I am drawing my curve. All right, can everybody see that? So I drew my lines and then I used my circle to match my marks. Drew my lines, used my circle to match my marks. Now you can either, if you're confident enough to cut that with your rotary cutter, you can do that, or you can use a scissors. So I am just going to cut. Now make sure you cut on the curved line, so I don't care about that little area that we marked off. I am just cutting on my curve and going all the way around. I'm just going to turn it the other way because I am right-handed, and I'm going to cut this other one.
And good morning, one and all. I caught quite a few of you early on there. I know I have missed a few, but good morning to everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. I see Debbie is watching, and I missed some in here too. So, but yeah.
Okay. So you're going to do this to both pieces. And when you open it up, there is half of your bag. Now this big piece that you cut off, so you're going to have 2 of these. And when you cut those off, that's where you're going to make your pocket pieces. So if you're doing your 2 bags, this becomes your pocket for your blue bag. And your blue bag becomes your pocket for your gold bag. So I have already cut my pocket pieces. And what I'm going to do on these pockets is I am going to fold them. We're going to fold them right sides together. So one is a little shorter than the other, but they're the same width. And I am just going to press those in half. Now we have our open end and our folded end. What I want to do is, I'm just going to, and I don't even need that. I'm going to kind of find the middle of my pocket. It isn't going to matter. I like to leave about a 2-inch opening for turning right side out. So I am just going to make me a couple little marks and remind myself those are 2 inches. So I'm going to start at my fold. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch to my mark, tie a knot. And then I'm going to come over here to my other mark, tie a knot, and I'm going to sew the rest of the way on both, and then we'll turn them right side out.
We'll let everybody know that Breakfast with Amy next week will be on Saturday morning. So we will have Strip Club Friday morning at 10 a.m. and then Breakfast with Amy Saturday morning at 8 a.m.
Okay, so I tied my knot. I'm coming over to my other mark, tie a knot. And then I'm going to continue to sew. and up the other side to my fold. I'm going to do the same thing to my other one.
As you've probably seen that we have posted this week, we have several previously loved sewing and embroidery machines. All of them, you can take the embroidery arm attachment off and use it just as a high-end sewing machine, so they're great that they're versatile that way. If you are interested at all in embroidery, this is a great way to get into it without spending the money, but they are without spending a lot more money on a top-of-the-line machine. This will let you know if it's something that you like. It's also something that the pricing is there and the quality is there, so you're getting a great machines at great prices.
All right, so I've sewed around, leaving that opening for turning right side, and I am just trimming my corners. And then we're going to turn our pocket right side out.
Good morning, Barbara. Catherine says that she loves her previously loved machine, so.
They're nice to have. A great way to get into a nice machine without having to pay brand new pricing. I'm just poking out my corners, turning that in. I'm going to do the same thing to my other pocket. Poke out my corners. Oh, you know what? I forgot to trim those corners. Maybe I better do that first. So my pocket, let's just trim those corners off quick.
Also, next Wednesday will be the first edition for our new sew along, the sampler. And I'm trying to think of the name of it off the top of my head, and it's not coming. Flower Farm. So that will be the first edition of that. You'll have 2 weeks to do your first couple of blocks. As we will, the first full week of May, we will be in Chicago for H&H Americas to meet with a lot of vendors and suppliers, get some new ideas. So
I am just going to press these. And then I am just going to go back to my sewing machine, and I am just going to top stitch around the edges to close those holes and to give it a nice little top stitch. All right, so I'm just going to sew around all the edges, and I have kind of an orangey gold thread in my machine, and I think that would look cute since these were going to go on that. So I'm going to keep that same thread, and I'm just going to do a little top stitch here.
Also, I wanted to remind everybody that is ordering either the 7-inch circle template or the personalized 6.5 or 6 by 12, not 6.5, 6 by 12 ruler this morning. They will be personalized with the first name on your account, unless you let me know different. They can also be made in left-handed versions, so to make your sewing a little bit easier if you are left-handed.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing to my other pocket. If you stop in the needle down position, you can just pivot all the way around.
So next week's Treat Yourself Tuesday will be normal. Amy and I will
be normal? Are we ever normal?
Well, Amy and I will be here next week, next Tuesday. The following Tuesday, when we are in Chicago. We will have Anita and Cheryl will be manning the controls and bringing you, and it probably won't be normal for them either. So but they will have a great selection for you as well. So have fun with them. They might have some specials to tempt you when we're away.
All right, so I am just trimming my threads. So here are my pocket pieces, and I'm going to set those aside for now. So now we have our pieces that we just did. So you're going to do these to both your pieces. Now what you're going to do, here is the curve of the handle and the curve of the handle. What I'm going to do is take it to my iron, and I am just going to fold that over about 1/8 of an inch and iron that. This is where, if you've got your steam on, you don't want to burn your fingers, so these silicone tools come in really handy just to hold that down and press it. So I'm going to do that around this curve here. I'm going to do it around the big curve, and I'm going to do it around the other one. And I'm just going to fold them in about 1/8 of an inch. It really does go quite quick. Fold them in, work my way around. And I'm going to do that to the other side for the curve.
Jane says, by the way, the twin bing was great.
Good. Twin bings are great. They are a delicious. Whether you do the cherry or the caramel, I don't think you can go wrong.
Caramel crunch.
And it's got a lot of caramel in it. If you like caramel, that's the way to go.
Martha said I saw that she had posted pictures of this over Easter. The grandkids were there and they liked making the mini wallet, and they're going to use it as a 4-H project at the Emmett County Fair. So
nice.
Great job there, Martha. Way to spur on our youth and way to help them with that project.
We love getting kids involved in sewing. All right, I am almost done already. Just working my way around the curve.
Again, this, and Amy is not using one, but this is a great place to use that silicone press tools, so you're not, don't have your fingers right next to that iron.
Okay, so I folded over about 1/8 of an inch. Now I can come to my machine and I'm going to fold it over again. But because you've already done one, it makes it really easy to fold it over again. And then I am just going to stitch that down. So I'm just folding. Now I'm going to give you a little trick. When you come to really where the curve is, if you can just kind of pull your fabric straight, you're not really going around a curve. And I'll show you, it might show up a little better around the big one. So I'm just folding it over again and tacking that down. The other one, the smaller one. So I'm just folding it over again. And my trick is, even though you're going around a curve, you kind of just hold your fabric straight. I'll do the big curve in the middle. Just fold it over.
And I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit when you're doing this one to see if that we can see.
And because this is curved, but I'm still kind of holding it straight, so I'm making sure I fold it over again.
And something that we haven't mentioned yet, but we received some news, was it on Wednesday afternoon, that we've been invited to go to, when we're in Chicago, to go to the Cubs game. We will be on the rooftop facilities that are across the street, actually, from the stadium. So that'll be a
baseball game.
It'll be a unique experience for us. We'll get to see the Cubs play the Giants, I believe it is. So that will be fun.
All right. So I've worked my way around the curves. It is very quick and easy. And I have already done my other one. So now you have both your pieces where you turned in and pressed an eighth, and then you turned it again and you sewed those seams. So now what we're going to do is, make sure I do this in order.
Deborah says a quarter or an eighth inch on that last.
I turned it in an eighth when I pressed, or when I pressed. Then I turned it in another eighth when I sewed. So you actually get a quarter-inch seam by doubling it. So go an eighth, then turn it another eighth when you're sewing.
Donna is wondering, are the ends on the silicone brushes hard or soft?
The ends on the silicone brushes are pliable. They're silicone. So these ends are hard, and these ends are like rubber.
So they're going to have flex to them.
Yes, they're going to have flex to them.
And Triss says good morning from Paducah. She's having a good time at the annual Paducah Quilt Show.
All right. So now, here's one of they're both exactly the same, so choose one. What we're going to do is fold it in half to find our center. So I'm just folding it in half, and I'm going to give it a good press up here around the curve so I find my center. So there's my center, and I am going to measure, and I give you these dimensions. I'm going to make a little mark. Then I'm going to take see how one is fatter than the other one? I'm going to take my skinny one, and I'm going to fold him in half and find his center. And I'm going to put the center of that right on that mark on the center that I just made. And I'm going to pin it. Now I'm going to take my fatter one, and I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to overlap them about an inch. So my skinny one first, then my fatter one, overlapping about an inch. And I'm going to pin that one down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the way around all four sides. And you already did make a one, so if you want to follow that same line, you can. If you want to go a little bit so it looks like a little bit of a double stitch, you can. Whatever you want to do. So I am just going to sew my pocket on. And I'm just sewing to the inside of the line that I already did. I'm sewing all the way around.
$5 flat rate shipping today. If you purchase $25 or more in items, then shipping is free. And of any of the 4 items that we have for sale on the site this morning, if you purchase any of those, you will receive the pattern with that purchase. Bernie says, do you need a walking foot for the pocket?
No. You're just sewing 2 pieces together. And I'm just going to trim my thread. So there I sewed the pocket on. And so it is a pocket. I have the skinny piece top, fat one on the bottom. Now I'm going to take my 2 pieces and I'm going to put them right sides together. And we're going to sew the tops of our handles together. So right sides together, and I'm just going to sew both of the top with a 1/4 inch seam. My other one, put them together with a 1/4 inch seam. And then I'm just going to trim off some of these strings. All right. Now we're going to put this, we're going to kind of do a French seam on these. So I am wrong sides together. We are going to sew around all 3 sides.
You can almost make a shirt out of that.
You almost could, couldn't you?
Yep.
How about that? So wrong sides together. So I want to make sure that my directions are correct too. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to sew all the way from the top right here at the bottom, you know, like you were showing, doing a shirt, all the way down across the bottom and all the way up. Okay. Yep, I'm right. See, I'm making sure that my pattern is written correctly for you. Now, you are either going to do it 2 ways. You can do your normal 1/4 inch seam and then trim off the excess when you're done because we're doing it like a French seam, or you can sew about 1/8 of an inch seam and then you won't have to trim. So whichever way you're comfortable with. I am actually going to sew 1/8 of an inch seam all the way around, and if you want to pin or clip, you certainly can.
Good morning, little A. Again, if you are interested in a previously loved or even a brand new sewing and or embroidery machine, anything FOF, we have a good supply here now, probably more than we have ever had in inventory for previously loved machines. So what that means is I'm sitting on inventory and I don't like that, so they are priced to sell.
So I am sewing 1/8 of an inch all the way around because I don't want to trim. You can sew 1/4 of an inch and then you can trim off the excess, but I'm just sewing 1/8 all the way around my 3 sides, wrong sides together. Match up my ends here.
And again, good morning one and all. If any of you are just joining us late, you can always watch the replay later on.
All right, now I'm going to turn it right sides together. Press out my corners. And then I'm going to give my sides and my bottom a quick press. Do across the bottom. You know, just kind of make sure that seam is nice.
Good morning, Ruth.
Up my other side. Okay. So now that I have it pressed, I'm going to come back. Now I am right sides together now, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam just down the sides. So I'm kind of doing a French seam on my bag so your side seams won't show. So I'm doing a regular 1/4 inch seam down the sides. So the reason that I just did 1/8 of an inch or that I trimmed after doing a 1/4 of an inch is you don't want to see that seam sticking through when you turn it back right side out. So now I'm going to do it on my other side.
Barbara, what Amy is making, it's a bag that could be used as a grocery bag or multiple other things, but it for storage it will fold into its own pocket, so it is very compact when you're not using it.
All right, so I've sewn down both sides of my bag to give it that French seam. Now, with it still right sides together, I'm going to take my corners and I'm going to fold them in. And I give you the dimensions on this. And really, I don't even need to mark, I just need a couple clips. So I'm going to measure how far I put them in. And I'm just going to do a little clip. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side.
Barbara is in Paducah also this morning.
Wow, that must be the place to be. I know it's the festival going on. All right. So I've turned both sides in on the bottom. And now I'm going to sew across the bottom with my 1/4 inch seam.
Chris says actually Barbara and her are together down there.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's fun. All right, believe it or not, we are almost done. So I sewed a 1/4 inch across the bottom. Now the only thing left is up here at the top. I am going to press my seam that was at the top of our handles open. If I can get there, there we go. So I'm just going to press that open. And I'll do the other one while I'm here. Press open. So now I'm going to take my handle and I'm going to fold it right side or wrong sides together, matching up my seam. I'm going to put a little clip. And now all I'm going to do is go to my machine and I'm going to sew about 1/8 of an inch on each side of that seam and then 1/4 of an inch. So you're actually making 4 seam lines on this just to reinforce that, because you don't want, if you've got heavy groceries in there, you don't want your handles coming apart. So I'm going to reinforce that with 4 seams, and I'm going to do the same thing over here, wrong sides together. And I'm just going to go 1/8 of an inch on each side and 1/4 inch on each side. I'm just going to turn it around and come back down the other way.
And we certainly hope everyone has fun plans for the weekend. So I see some are going to have fun in Paducah. But yeah, get out and do something fun. Hopefully the weather is going to be nice wherever you are, and you can take advantage of getting outside. And if it's not, we know what else you can do inside too. So keep that sewing machine busy.
All right, I'm just reinforcing those, doing 1/8 of an inch on either side and then 1/4 inch. So let me do my other handle. We're going to do 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to swing it around and come back the other way.
Martha says her granddaughters have dance recital on Sunday.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Pam is checking in now. She said she overslept. It's raining there.
Oh. All right. So now I've reinforced the handles. I'm just going to trim my threads, and then I'm going to show you how to fold it and put it into the pocket, because we're done. So here is our bag. Plenty of room to put everything. You've got a wide bottom, so lots of things would fit in there. Now, to put it in our pocket, we're going to kind of fold our sides in and make them even with our handle. So we're going to fold our sides in. And if you want to press, but this, you're going to be using the bag and taking it out and putting it in your pocket. So I have them all pressed, nice, laying there. You're going to fold this one in thirds. See how it's right at the edge of the pocket? Then this one comes in right at the edge of your pocket. Then you're going to fold this one up to the bottom of your pocket. And then this one takes a couple folds.
Sharon says they have Ag Day at the University of Delaware tomorrow, and it's her husband's birthday. So.
Nice. So we folded all of that. Here's my pocket on the other side, And we're just going to turn our pocket right side out and kind of push everything in there. And then we take our other end and push everything in there. Now you can reach in and kind of push out your corners. There's your bag. So there's the color of your bag, and then there's your pocket. So it makes it kind of a fun little pocket on the front of your bag. Super easy. You just then unfold it out. Pull it all out from the inside. And now you have your bag. Easy as that. And then isn't it kind of fun? You give it own little personality by putting on that little different color pocket. If you want to do them both the same like I did, you certainly can. And then you have bags to take with you when you're shopping. So that is the pocket bag for today. How fun was that? Super easy. You could get it easily done in a day. And we do have some different colors of fabric for you. So you said the gray is waitlisted?
It is waitlisted.
But you could always pre-authorize. If someone decides they would rather have a different color, it may go out of their cart and come into yours. So they're $24.99. You get fabric to make 2 bags. You can alternate the pockets. Sold 100 gray. Then we have the gold, which is the one I did. So you get the blue and the gold to make your bag. Sold 100 gold. We've got a different color, or 2 different browns, kind of a marbly, earthy tones. I tried to keep them kind of dark so they don't show dirt being from your trunk. Sold 100 brown. Then we've got a couple, they're kind of an olive green with a really pretty country blue on them. Sold 100 green. Then I've got this brown with the stripe, kind of a blue and brown stripe. So I'm calling this sold 100 stripe. And a red. So it's like a deep country red with the green. Sold 100 red. $24.99.
And with any of these purchases,
you're going to get the pattern.
Yes.
7-inch circle template is $9.99. Works really well to draw that circle on there. Sold 100.
And either that or the ruler can be personalized.
Yes. And then the ruler I use that works really well for this is the 6x12 personalized, $15.99. Sold 102. And then the silicone tools are a great thing to have when you're working with turning over those edges and you don't want to get your fingers hot. The position and press silicone tools are $10.99. Sold 103.
And with the pocket bag, the fabric choices, we will probably be adding some more to it.
Okay.
So there might be some more options that come in. So just pay attention to.
We'll post it on Facebook or Friends of Wise Monkey Quilting. So I can give you a few more options.
All right.
So thank you guys for joining me on Breakfast with Amy. Hopefully you enjoyed making these pocket bags. They're not only quick and easy and fun to make, but they are absolutely come in handy when you are on your way shopping, and you can never have too many shopping bags to take with you.
And it's also, if you make them, you could use it for like gift bags where they have the bag to use after that.
There you go. That's a really great idea. You could put the gifts in them and then they get multi-use for their bag. So have a wonderful weekend. Randy and I will be back on Monday at 5 o'clock with him on this side of the camera for happy hour with the Healy's. And then don't forget, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central for Treat Yourself Tuesday, we bring you lots of fun fabrics and notions and patterns and just a fun virtual shopping experience. So have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.